I think a lot of us are trying to find love in the outside world instead of first acquiring that love from the world within, right? We have this idea that we are lacking from within. We are empty from the inside, right? And whatever it is that we're lacking from within, someone is gonna magically or someone is gonna randomly come into our lives. And whatever it is that we're seeking, this person is gonna give it to us, right? So whether we're seeking love, we're seeking validation, we're seeking praise, or we're seeking someone to take care of us, this person is gonna give us everything that we've been searching for, right? And so for the most part, we go through life always seeking, always trying to find this person or to find a person to cling on to. And so we jump from person to person, from situation to situation, from relationship to relationship. And it feels as if no matter what we try, no matter who we come across, everything eventually falls to the wayside. And I think the thing that we fail to realize, or the thing that we haven't become conscious of, is the fact that in order for you to attract the love that you want, you must first become the love that you need. In order for someone to come into your life and give to you the things that you would want them to give to you, you must first give those same things to yourself. And so here's the thing. You cannot have something in your external world or in your outside world if you first haven't acquired those things within, right? You cannot change your outside world if you haven't made change from the world within, right? And this is what I mean when I say, in order for you to attract the love that you need, but the love that you want, you must first become the love that you need. And obviously I'm speaking from a metaphysical or a spiritual perspective, right? But let's not even look at it from that perspective. Let's not get that deep. Obviously I mentioned these things on my channel, but to some degree I like to keep my channel practical. But let's look at it from a practical perspective. Let's say you were to meet the person that you've always dreamt of, the man or the woman of your dreams, right? Let's say you met this person, and everything that you prayed or hoped for, this person was the complete embodiment of those things. And so you meet this person, and at first everything clicks. The chemistry is good, the relationship is smooth, there's a level of connection or compatibility between both of y'all, right? And so things are good at first. But the simple fact that you're lacking from within, and you feel empty from within, and so you're insecure, you lack self-love, you feel unworthy, you question yourself, all these things are still very much plaguing you. And so everything was fine at first in the relationship, right? Until the cracks begin to show, until you begin to project these things onto this person. And because you begin to project these things onto the person, it begin to show, or these things begin to manifest themselves, right? Because everything that is within you eventually comes out into your world. And so these things that are within you comes out. And then the person sees this, and the person feels like they are burdened by you, right? Your neediness begins to burden them. And so eventually something that started off good completely fell apart, completely fell to the wayside, simply because you didn't have love for yourself within, right? Your cup wasn't filled from within. You didn't give the things that you wanted from another person to yourself as yet. And so a relationship that could have been so good, a relationship that could have been prosperous, fell apart simply because you haven't addressed the issues that have been plaguing you, right? And so once you come to that realization that no one can fill your cup, no one can give you something that you haven't yet given to yourself, you come to the realization that you have to become your own source. You have to become the source of everything that you're seeking from this world. Because this world would never be able to fill you up. Someone cannot give you what you don't have. And sure, you might meet someone and temporarily things feel good. You have a sense of pleasure. This person sort of fills your cup, but in a pseudo way, in a fake way. It's only temporary, right? But the thing about that is that, and I spoke about this in one of my previous videos, if you give someone the luxury to fill your cup or to be your source, they also inevitably become your source of pain. Because no one can sustain filling your cup for a long period of time. Eventually those cracks begin to form, or those cracks begin to show themselves. And so once you come to that realization, you sort of realize that you have to begin treating yourself like you would treat a romantic partner. You have to begin treating yourself as if you are in a relationship with yourself. And the reality is that you are in a relationship with yourself. Ron Wills always says that your number one relationship is the relationship that you have with you. And so for the most part, a lot of us haven't really taken the time to cultivate that relationship. We're trying to build or, work on every other relationship except the one that we have with ourselves. We're trying to acquire things from the world that we haven't really given to ourselves. And eventually we come to a point in which we realize that no matter how much we try, no matter how much we endeavor to find these things, eventually we continue to fail. But when you take the time to work on the relationship that you have with you, once you take the time to fill your own cup and become your own source, you realize that the things that you thought you needed from someone else, you really don't need it, because you've given those things to yourself. And the funny thing about this, right? The thing about this is that whenever you're no longer in a need, whenever you no longer need something, that's when the universe gives that thing to you, right? And the universe gives that thing to you because you're reflecting abundance, right? You've become your own source. You filled your own cup. You quench your own thirst, right? The universe gives you what you already have within you. And so no matter how much you strive to have these things outside of you, if you haven't taken the time to give those things to yourself, you'll always be lacking. You'll always be seeking, and you will always be unhappy. The reality is that no one can be your source of happiness. You have to be the person that becomes your own happiness. You have to be the person that, becomes everything that you're seeking from the world. And you have to become everything that you're seeking from a romantic partner. Instead of waiting for someone to take you out on dates, instead of waiting to take someone out on dates or to go on dates with someone, you can begin to do nice things for yourself. You can begin to take yourself out. Instead of waiting for someone to validate you, you can be the one that can validate your own self. You can become the person that becomes your own source of validation. Instead of waiting for someone to give you love or to give love to you, you can give yourself just a little bit of love every single day. When you wake up in the morning, you can validate yourself. Before you go to your bed and you're doing your skincare routine or your nightly routine or whatever, you can validate yourself. You can give those things to yourself. Recently, I'm really getting a taste of what it feels like to become my own source. And I even said this previously, that nothing is as freeing as becoming the very thing that you seek from the world. Because once you have it within here, no matter what it is that is taking place outside of you, you're still at peace. You're still in a state of tranquility, right? You're still calm. And that's what happens when you become the love that you need. Once you become the love that you need, no one has the power to push you around. The thought of having a relationship to you sounds good, right? And it should sound good to you, right? Because believe it or not, we all, to some degree, desire having good relationships, no matter if it's romantically or platonically or whatever it is. We all desire having those good relationships. But once you have a good relationship with yourself, once you become the love that you need, then you kind of find yourself in this state of inner peace that no one can disturb, that no one can take away from you, right? It is true freedom. You know, until you become the person that gives yourself the love that you seek, you will never truly know freedom. And I would argue that you would never truly know what love is, right? And you can never truly give love because you don't have love for your own self. And I had to sort of face that realization myself. I had to look myself in the mirror and face the fact that no matter how much I strived, no matter how much I toiled, no one that I met could give me what I needed. And once I took that accountability, once I faced that reality and I stopped running away from the parts of myself that I was sort of suppressing, once I became conscious and I became aware of the fact that I was looking for love in the world without first gaining that love or building that love or tapping into that love that was within me, I really found or I tasted freedom. And obviously I'm still working on myself to get to a place in which I am the complete embodiment of that self-love that I need. But at the same time, I believe that it's more so of a journey than a destination, right? No one really wakes up the next morning and really completely loves themselves just overnight. You know, self-love, believe it or not, is a journey. It's a journey that you embark on every single day. It's a journey that you have the chance or you have the choice to choose. No one can force it on you, right? You have to choose it. You have to choose to go on the journey in which you become everything that you're seeking from this world. But as long as you stay in that place in which you believe that your well-being or how you feel is dependent on whether or not someone gives that love to you, you will always be unhappy. And you will always be unfulfilled. And you will always be seeking, right? And so I say all this to say, in order for you to attract the love that you want, you have to become the love that you need. Whatever it is that you're seeking from the world, you can be the one to give it to yourself. No one has to give it to you. And believe it or not, no one can really give it to you. You have to first give it to yourself. And the moment you give it to yourself, the universe or God or source or whatever begins to reflect that same thing in your physical reality. Begins to give that thing to you. And I said this before in one of my longer time videos. I said that people value what is already valued. People love what is already loved. This is why celebrities are so loved, because people love them, right? People see value in them. And so if you haven't taken the time to see value in yourself, if you haven't taken the time to give love to yourself and love yourself, then no one that you come across, no one that you meet will be able to see that value in you and give that love to you. So you have to become everything that you seek from this world. You have to become your own source. You have to become the source of everything that you desperately seek. And once you become that source, the universe will reflect that in your physical reality. And they will bring people into your life who reflect the love that you already have within you. So stop looking outside of you and go within. Give that love to yourself. Cultivate that self-love. And everything that you seek or you desire from this world will be given to you. So once again, thank you guys for watching. And I really hope you take the time to cultivate that self-love. Because the reality is that the quality of your life depends on it. And your well-being, believe it or not, depends on it. Peace and blessings.